The Dark Souls of Darksiders. Have you heard that Darksiders 3 is like Dark Souls? Well, it is, and that's great, because Dark Souls is interesting, but it has a lot of flaws. Unfortunately, Darksiders has some flaws as well, especially the frame rate, which was really bad for me. I don't know, will they make a fix? Maybe my computer's getting old. It definitely would have run faster if I hadn't been recording it the entire time, so... well, too bad, I guess. I just like recording all of it, so I have footage for it whenever I need it. Yeah, because it's a fun game and it looks beautiful. But yeah, pretty bad frame rate. And that's weird, isn't it? Because when you hear reviews of it, then that's not the main concern they have. People say that the enemies don't telegraph their attacks well enough, but I don't see that at all. I think they're fairly obvious. They slow down their attack quite a lot right before they actually do it, and then you can dodge, and then it's a nice cinematic counter. It's pretty cool. I really like that. It's like Dark Souls, but without the stupid stamina bars and everything being slow and clunky all the time. Nope, it's just a dodge, and then boom, you can... the attack just goes right through you because you do some kind of crazy slow-mo move, and then you attack the enemy right in their face while they miss the attack. It's pretty cool. At least it would be if it weren't for the fact that the game gives you the option to level up your basic attacks, your special attacks, and your health. And of course I leveled up my health and my basic attacks, so counterattacks didn't do any damage. So I guess I must have picked wrong or something, but then again, I don't usually like it when games have parries. I don't usually use them, but in this game you end up using them all the time anyways, because after you dodge, you will do a parry every time you attack. I mean, if you dodge well enough, I guess. You can dodge poorly timed, and then it's still a dodge, but it's not a parry, but yeah. It's odd that you don't have a choice to whether or not you want to parry or not. But then again, the parry still does about as much as a basic attack, so it's just I guess a basic attack that has a fancy execution, a fancy animation. Yeah, it's pretty cool and interesting stuff. And it's so good that I can just attack without having to fucking worry about the stamina meter. The lock-on is useless, by the way, in case you didn't know, which is exactly like Dark Souls, where the lock-on is also useless. But, well, I guess that's... actually, you know what? Darksiders is better because the lock-on is useless. In Dark Souls, the lock-on is necessary for certain things. Like the flies, you're not gonna hit them unless you lock onto them. That's fucking bullshit. You can out-time with some fucking flies, can't you, Chosen Undead? Fucking bullshit. No, in Darksiders, she can hit anything flawlessly without lock-on. And lock-on fucks up the camera just like it does in Dark Souls. And that's why you should never use it. And you don't have to use it, and that's fucking great. Except for the fact that the dodge looks weird when you don't lock on. It's just a dash every time. Normally she does, like, I don't know, somersaults and stuff when you dodge, but when you don't lock on, it's just a dash every time. Which is weird, because you can dodge into an attack, but because you're dodging, it'll still go through. And then it slows down time just a little bit, so it's all the more obvious that you're just dodging through the attack. Which is fucking weird. I don't know, it's weird, yeah. They should have made it so it dodges away from the attack every time, or something, I don't know. But whatever, I guess. You can dodge away from it if you want, it just doesn't do anything. It's all about the timing, not about where to you dodge. But yeah, Dark Souls has a lock-on that sucks and makes the game worse. Darksiders has a lock-on that sucks but doesn't make the game worse because you don't have to use it. So there you go. That's why Darksiders is better in some ways than Dark Souls. And the stamina bar is shit in Dark Souls. Ironically, the sprint button is shit in Darksiders. For some reason, it's not the same button as dodge, but dodge doesn't have any use when you hold it down. So why didn't you just make it so you hold down the dodge button and it does the sprint? That would have been good. I mean, I'm glad that the sprint has a toggle. You could still do that though. You could still make it a toggle, I guess. Huh. I see the point now, actually. I guess if you have hold to toggle, then it would be weird to untoggle. Unless you just can't dodge when you're in a sprint, which would be fine. I don't know if you can. The sprint is pretty damn slow, by the way. Annoyingly so. But at least there's no stamina, so you can sprint infinitely. But what button is the sprint? I think it's V, which is just stupid, and dodge is shift. It would have been nice if dodge button had done the sprint too. Would have been real good. But whatever, I guess I got used to it. It's just that you're not gonna use it in the fight because V is such an awkward button to press. Or at least I didn't. I guess every once in a while an enemy has an attack that's so large that you can't dodge away from it. Wait, could I have dodged through that attack? I guess I don't remember. So anyways, people have this crazy notion that Dark Souls is hard but fair. And that's pretty weird that they would just be so outwardly and openly retarded. Fucking Dark Souls is fair? Are you fucking kidding me? There's a fucking dragon that roasts you. There's a chest that kills you. There's a slime that falls on you and you don't see it. No, it's not fair, you fucking idiots. And the thing is, they say that DarkSiders 3 is not fair. Fuck off, it's fair. The souls don't even disappear if you die twice. They only get a little bit less, I assume. I don't even know if they get less. Maybe they just stick around forever. But anyways, if you die, you lose your souls, and they can pick them up again. But if you die twice, they don't go away. So, what's the big deal? I mean, it's quite rare that you can't avoid dying twice, and I mean, actually, I think it's impossible that you can't avoid dying twice. You can always get to your souls, and you don't have to. So, what are you talking about? It's not fair. It's perfectly fair. It's way more fair than Dark Souls. And don't give me that shit. You can tell that there's gonna be a dragon because the ground is charred. What are you, fucking retarded? The ground is charred, so you can predict that there's gonna be a dragon that instant kills you. No, you can't. You're more likely to, well, just avoid taking damage entirely in Darksiders than to guess that there's a dragon in Dark Souls that'll kill you. Fucking no way. and you know the bosses aren't fair either in Dark Souls, right? Like the gaping dragon has hitboxes up his ass that don't make any sense. In Darksiders, at least all the hitboxes are fairly well designed. They're fine, okay? I mean, sure, there's some attacks that might not have enough wind-up, and then once you've seen them, you can predict them. So you might get hit by one attack every once in a while. Ooh, big deal. You know, unlike Dark Souls, your flask respawns, and there's consumable health potions as well. So you're never gonna run out of health in Darksiders. I mean, unless you're really bad. And then you just get them back. I mean, there's some weird things about the consumable items. For example, well, they all are on the same cooldown, which I guess is interesting, except for the fact that it makes it completely horrible to use them in combat. Because, you got such a long cooldown on using the consumables. Why don't you just make it so I can pause the game to select the consumable? That would be so much better than scrolling through like 10 different consumables, where there's like three health potions of different magnitudes. And what for even? Most of them heal you full anyways. It's pretty silly. Just pause the game so I can select the potion, please. And by the way, there's the flask, the refilling potion. It doesn't refill if you kill a boss, but it refills if you die. So if there's two bosses next to each other, you might as well die on the second one if you want all your potions. That's weird. I mean, you can farm to get them, but I mean, no, dying's faster. I'm not gonna farm potions if... Besides, you might end up losing more health than you gain. So whatever. Yeah, there's some minor flaws, but whatever. God, it'd be so sweet if you could just pause to select the potion you want, because there's some really cool potions. There's a potion of protection, which basically makes it so you take like a third of the damage you would. And that's great! people say, oh, you get killed so easily in Darksiders. Not true. And by the way, Darksiders has a difficulty setting. If you think it's too hard, just lower the difficulty. In fact, I lowered the difficulty. I foolishly thought, oh, I can handle this, I'm gonna play on hard. Nope, it was too hard. So I went to medium, which is the default option. It's not even easier than default. And it was perfectly fine. Why you gonna... What, do you think you're gonna get cucked if you don't play it on hard? Well, then don't complain that it's too hard, jeez. And besides, you'd have to be really, like, unaware of Dark Souls mechanics if you think the game is hard. Because the game gives you, like, a million level ups that make it so much easier. As well as a blacksmith that also makes it so much easier. If you're somehow too stupid to use, like, the souls that you constantly collect to level up, as well as the blacksmith to level up your weapon, then yeah, it'll be hard. Imagine that. I thought, I'm gonna play this game without fast traveling, and that was, I mean, it was fun. It worked well for a while, but then I realized, wait a moment, there was a blacksmith, wasn't there? I better go back to him. And then I fast traveled for that. And, oh my god, what a difference. Yeah, you should have used the blacksmith all along, I guess. And yeah, so there's souls that are, well, the ones that you lose when you die. But then there's also the souls that you don't lose when you die. The stuff like the soul of the lost undead. But, you know, they're called lurkers in this one. Because I guess they're not souls, because that would be stupid, because they're in everything. You break a chair and it has a soul. Nope. No, it's a lurker, I guess. It's probably like 1 million dead humans that clung to their possessions. Who knows? Chair soul. Anyways, there's clusters of lurkers, and they're like the soul of the undead. And then you use them, and you can level up 10 times. So if you think you're gonna get two-shot, you're either playing on too hard, or you didn't know you could level up like an idiot who hasn't played Dark Souls, and also is too stupid to look what those items are that you constantly pick up. And well, it's a game that doesn't last forever, so you should use those items as much as you can. As well as the potions, you should use them as much as you can. Especially the shitty ones like the small health potion, use them. This isn't obvious, but you get them back really cheaply. Especially with the merchant, he gives them to you really cheaply. They only get more expensive if you like got 20 of them. So if you use them constantly, they'll remain cheap. Because it's based on how many you have in your inventory, how expensive they are to buy. So there you go, you should use them as much as you can, and it'll make the game a lot easier. Especially if you prepare to use a potion instead of like cycling through them by accident. Except for the spiky potion, that one seems pointless. It reflects damage, come on. Don't reward me for taking damage. Oh well. And then they have a cooldown, so you can't take the anti-damage potion and the spike potion at the same time. I guess you can if you take the spike potion first, but then you're gonna wait for that to be half worn off. I don't know, I guess I should have tried that actually. Sounds pretty useful. You don't take damage, but you reflect all the damage back. It's pretty good. I don't know, should be anyways. Another thing that people say about this game, which is utter bullshit, is that the levels aren't great, because the levels are fucking beautiful. And they connect with each other. They're basically almost as connected as in Dark Souls 1. They're probably more connected, actually. Which you don't know, because you need to unlock all the powers, and then you can destroy all those purple glowing walls, and it turns out that actually all the levels are connected. There's like a shortcut between the spider nest and the catacombs, and then the same shortcut goes further on to the lava place. Hold on, I remember there was like an area there that I haven't explored yet. Huh. I should probably look at that when I play it again. I don't know if I will. Probably. We'll see. Huh, I wonder what's there. Oh, I guess that might be where that alternate boss fight was. Oh, never mind that then. Huh. So yeah, that's cool stuff. The levels really open up once you unlock the purple power, but then I mean, once you've unlocked the purple power, you can go back and see the shortcuts. But then, unfortunately, the levels that come after you've unlocked the purple power, they don't have that interconnectedness as much anymore, which is too bad. Do they? Wait, what levels are those? Well, no, I guess you come back anyways, but they don't like have shortcuts that you don't realize, I guess. Unless I didn't realize. That's possible. Maybe the shortcuts unlocked after I beat the boss. Who knows? Maybe I should explore. Well, you never know. Unfortunately, the final boss isn't great. It's just, well, it's a regular humanoid person that just has way too many weapons, so it's really hard to predict what they're gonna use. They have like a gun, a scythe, a giant sword, and they can summon like every other boss from the enemy to perform one attack. It summons like a ghost of every boss. It's an interesting concept, but it's kinda, well, it's not too well done. I guess it would have been better if they could only use like a random boss. Like, no, they could use like 3 random bosses. It might actually be that way and I didn't realize it. But if they could use all the bosses, that's pretty weird. Actually, I don't know. They might, yeah, whatever. And then people say that the story isn't good. I don't know. I guess there were some awkward moments, but in general I thought it was interesting. Except for the fact that, like, the choices that were made weren't great. There was one time where she was fighting, and then she randomly made a comment that pissed off someone, and then everything went to shit, which was really crazy. She didn't have to piss off that one person, and then she wouldn't have had to cause another apocalypse. I don't know, that's pretty weird. That was just arbitrary and weird. I don't know. I guess in the end it turns out that the game was actually a prequel, so it actually had to cause some kind of apocalypse anyway, so I guess womp womp womp. But yeah, I thought the game was good. I guess there doesn't seem to be a New Game Plus feature, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it's a Metroidvania, so you can't. So starting with New Game Plus would just mean that you get to take all the shortcuts right away, and then that would mean that you could challenge each boss at any point, which I guess would be interesting. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough, but I pressed continue and then it just put me right before the final boss fight again, which was weird. I guess I could have gone back to explore all the rest, but I already explored all the rest, so too bad. Well, there you go. That's my opinion on DarkSiders. I think it's a good game, but the frame rate, I guess, you should try it and see if the frame rate's fine before you play, I guess. Is there a demo? I don't know, but you can always get a refund on Steam anyways, which I didn't do. I thought I was gonna check it out and then refund it because it's too expensive. Well, you should definitely wait for it to get cheaper if that's an option. But I couldn't wait because I actually really liked playing the game. And that's saying something considering how laggy it was. Can't wait for it to get fixed or for me to get a better computer, or maybe just playing it without recording it. That would be fun. Yeah, maybe I will play it again. Yeah. Alright, subscribe for more Dark Souls related things and also squids. Goodbye. Good squids. Wait, this isn't the end. I still have way more things to say. Fucking hell. Why do I even do this like that? Oh, so basically, I forgot to say that the main character is really fucking annoying. You know, it's weird that they replaced Pestilence and they replaced it with Toxic Femininity Incarnate. God, I would have rather had some kind of poison than having to listen to her all the time. Damn, imagine just like someone really fat, full of toxins. That would have been cool. I mean, it wouldn't have been any harder because she's already pretty weak. You know, they really nailed this whole being a woman thing, I guess. you can't block, and you don't know how to use your weapons properly, so I guess that's pretty bad. But seriously, yeah, why do you have a whip and then every attack you do takes you closer to the enemy? That's what I thought at first anyways. It's pretty weird. Just let me attack the enemy from the distance. But then I guess you'd miss out on all those fancy dodging moves. But I think it should have been still an option to like, well, not move forwards while you attack. What's the point of doing that if you have a whip? Well, anyways, I guess you don't really need to be far away from the enemies, as I said, so whatever. If you just pay attention, you can dodge them all, and you're fine. Yeah. And you don't get ranged attacks until quite late, and then they're shit, because you've upgraded other stuff. So that's too bad. I don't know, I feel like they should have had more ranged attacks. More being able to use your whip from the distance, maybe even attack and then move backwards. But instead you have combos and they just take you closer to the enemy, or they take the enemy closer to you. Which really defeats the purpose of having a long weapon. Which is why I was really glad that there's a second... Well, there's a lots of different weapons that you can get. Well, there's 4. And they're all called Scorn for some reason. There's the Chain of Scorn, the Hammer of Scorn, the Lance of Scorn? Why do you even bother putting all that on? And then there's a section which says basic armor, and that's the only armor you get all game. Isn't that weird? I don't know, I think some of these choices are a bit odd. Well, whatever, I guess. Especially as a woman, you'd think that you'd have different armors that you go through all the time. I mean, look at Death. He had like a different armor for every day of the week. We found so many shitty, useless armor items all over the place. And then Fury, she just wears the same outfit the entire time. And whenever she loads on screen, she has this Eye of Sauron effect on her bosom from this amulet she wears. Pretty weird. Well, I guess at least she gets to change her hair color, because her powers are linked to buttons, which is an interesting concept. Too bad it doesn't factor into combat too much. Should have had it so you can chain between them easily. And also you upgrade each weapon that you have from those powers separately, so basically you're just gonna be stuck with 1 or 2 of them because you're not gonna bother upgrading them all. That's pretty odd. And I guess most importantly I forgot about the puzzles, because they're like everywhere. And well, I guess they're kind of cool, but they always break my immersion because they're like so utterly gamey. Well, the whole game is kind of somewhat more realistic than just the fact that there's puzzles that are specifically designed for your toolset to get by, and then for you to find the solution. And then he plays this really satisfying jingle at the end. I can't do it, but it's just like, oh, you solved the puzzle, or something like that. But more, well, it fits the theme really well, and it's cool, but it's like, damn, huh? I guess I really am playing a game I could have almost forgotten for a sec. Which is silly, of course, because the game is already pretty goofy. It's just that, I don't know, I guess it always feels out of place, but I guess it's just a thing that is happening in DarkSiders, is that you just have these crazy puzzles in the middle of the apocalypse. Oh, hold on, I guess I gotta put saving the world on hold so I can arrange these crystals so they can let me through. I don't think there were any crystal puzzles this time, but yeah, pretty cool, but pretty weird. But yeah, I guess they're still fun, so whatever, I guess I just can't be pleased with these puzzles. And the reviewers, I think, usually say that the puzzles are positive, so I guess that's good then. I guess they make the world bigger because you need to... Well, I guess some of them just have like long conveyor belts they can ride, which is cool. So that's nice. Oh yeah, I guess the fact that the game's a Metroidvania is cool, but it's also shit at first, because you walk by like a million spider webs that you can't get by until you get the fire power up and you can burn them. Otherwise you have to get those annoying bugs and you have to throw them. Oh god. Yeah, I guess for that it would have been nice to have a New Game Plus, because the bugs are just... I don't know, I guess the controls for them are never good, because in DarkSiders they have this aim mode, which is kind of pointless, because I have a mouse, so I'm already always in aim mode. And if you don't use the aim mode, you're never gonna hit what you want, unless it's like an enemy. You hit those fine, I guess. But the puzzles... Well, I mean, sometimes the puzzles don't need aiming, but most of the time you throw the bugs, you do need to aim them, so that's too bad. Because the aim's really uncomfortable, as usual, in a DarkSiders game. By the way, can I say that I'm so glad that DarkSiders is back? I sure hope they make number 4 and hopefully number 5. I don't know if there's a number 5 planned, but I think there should be a number 5. Because it's just such an opportunity to have it so that... Make a co-op game where you can pick one of 4 horsemen that you can play. You know how cool that would be? That would be epic. But then again, I guess that would be quite a big game project to make, because... Well, I mean, there'd be puzzles, there'd be hack and slash. I don't know, I guess there'd be like paths where you have to split up to go different paths. I mean, I think that would be cool. Otherwise it'd be annoying to always be 4 people. But then again, who knows how it even works? Maybe it can be 2 people. But then again, maybe if you 2 people and the other 2 are NPCs. Really, there's a lot of possibilities. But then also, if you have a battle of 4 of them, then that would be quite a battle, I guess. I don't know if you could tell what the fuck would be happening. I guess if there's no friendly fire, then it'd be alright. But then if there is friendly fire, that would be more interesting. Who knows? So yeah, I really hope that they make 2 more games at least. Well, they already had some kind of cliffhanger ending where they showed the final boss, the final horseman. So can't wait to see what happens there. In like a million years or whatever. I don't know, I don't know if this took a long time to make. People say they rushed this game, so was it done quickly? I hope so, because I want to see another one like this, just with less lag, hopefully. Oh well. What was my last point? Oh yeah, right, I don't know if this is better or worse than the other DarkSiders, because it's been so long. I guess I'll replay the other DarkSiders eventually. But yeah, I don't know. The other DarkSiders were really cool, but I think they had their flaws. Like that aiming, for example, always sucked, I remember. And I guess they generally had shitty PC ports. At least shitty non-gamepad PC ports. I mean, if you want to not play with a gamepad, they're shitty to control. But still better than Dark Souls, I gotta tell you. Fucking Dark Souls with a keyboard, what a tragedy. Still better than using a gamepad though, cause fuck those things. So anyways, DarkSiders 3 is the Dark Souls that I always wanted. And I really hope they make another one. Finally a Dark Souls that actually has cool gameplay. I mean, I know Dark Souls has decent gameplay, but it's like so slow. I guess in Dark Souls 3 it speeds up a little bit with those special moves, but it's still really limiting in a way, and I don't know, you still never had a jump button, and then the next one's gonna have a jump button, but now you can't change your inventory, and you're always a ninja and you rely on stealth. Come on, stealth Dark Souls? I don't know, maybe. I guess I'll have to see. But I think this is one of the more interesting Dark Souls clones, but then again, I do like a lot of the Dark Souls clones, especially Lords of the Fall I really liked. What else was there? Maybe there weren't that many other ones that I played. I guess I never played Neo. Oh well, I guess I've rambled on long enough. Sorry that I couldn't produce a concise review, but I had a lot of stuff to say anyways, so there you go. Yeah, you can play DarkSiders 3, there's a few flaws, but I would play it. And I would play it in the future, because in the future surely they'll have either fixed the bugs or there'll be better computers, so it'll be great. And I guess I really shouldn't have such an old computer at this point, but it's still good for most games. Oh well. I guess nowadays I'm really noticing it. Shit, they're rambling again. Alright. Subscribe.